That's what I was waiting on.
Welcome to the January 9th Fairhope City Council meeting. I'd like to welcome Pastor Brent Shaw with First Baptist Church in Fairhope for the invocation, and please remain standing for the pledge.
Would you please join me in prayer? Heavenly Father, Lord of all creation, we come before you tonight asking you to hear our prayer. We thank you for this beautiful day and for the blessing of living in this beautiful city and this great nation. Father, you blessed us beyond what we deserve, and we acknowledge that every good thing comes from your hands. As we begin this new year, Father, I ask that you bless our mayor, the council members, our police officers, all our city officials and their families. Would you please watch over them and protect them and encourage them in their day-to-day walk. Father, I ask that you give Mayor Sullivan and the council members the wisdom they need to lead us in the daily affairs of our city and to make the decisions that will cause us to prosper as a people. Help them to act with integrity and fairness as they seek to make difficult decisions which will surely come their way as part of a growing city. Lord, help them to do not what is just easy and expedient, but to do what is best for our city. Father, I ask that as citizens of this wonderful place that we all live our lives in a way that's pleasing to you as well, that we show respect and love for our neighbors and our fellow citizens. Father, help us to guard our tongues and to be good listeners. Help our actions to model your two great commandments, to love you with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength, and to love our neighbor as ourselves. Father, help us to remember to number our days, and the most important things in life are eternal. Thank you this past week for reminding us through the events in the life of NFL football player Damar Hamlin that, Lord, indeed, things can change in a heartbeat. And most importantly, thank you for letting us see the power of prayer. Father, please bless us and keep us. Please make your face to shine upon us and be gracious to us. Please turn your face toward us and give us your peace. I pray this all in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. Council, item number 1 on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the December 21st regular city council meeting.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes as presented.
All right.
Second.
I've got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. All right. Minutes are approved. Mayor, your report?
Thank you, Council. Before I get to a proclamation, just want to have a few announcements. First, today we are celebrating National Law Enforcement Day. So always a good day to appreciate our police officers and what they do for us here in the city of Fairhope. So just want to give a shout out to them. Also remind everybody that on Monday we will be celebrating Martin Luther King Day. We are the host of the events this year. There's an item on the agenda actually for that. There'll be a parade starting at 10:30 at Morphy and Young that will march to the Civic Center where there'll be a ceremony there. So everybody's welcome to join, so hope people will come out for that event as well. Also wanted to just mention that we did have an issue with our billing. This week there was a Longmont, Colorado newsletter that was inserted into our utility bills. Unfortunately, that was not our intent. They did have our city sketches to go in the utility bill, but that did not happen. I thought it was funny that one lady told me that she actually tried to sign up for one of their events and then realized that it wasn't Fairhope. They thought we were starting something new. So no, that is Longmont, Colorado, and you are welcome to pick up a copy of City Sketches either in a city building or you can also access that online. We did have also some billing issues. That is another software glitch that we are working on currently with a update to some software and some other things that happened. But know that we are not happy with that. With the issue with billing, it did not make us look very efficient or adequate in our services that we provide to our citizens, but we are working hard every day to get better and to make sure we do better. So with that being said, I'm going to read a proclamation for somebody who always does things better. Dr. Rowe, you want to come up? So Dr. Rowe is here with us and his whole family. You can see there's 2 rows of them. And Dr. Rowe has been in Fairhope for, I'm going to go through this whole proclamation that gives all these numbers, for years. But I will tell you that my mother worked for him for over 30 years. So she probably knows all the good, bad, and the ugly, right? Yes, she probably does. So, and you probably know the same about her. And he's known me forever. So, growing up here, I mean, I felt like I've grown up with your family and with you. So honored to be able to be here tonight and do this proclamation for you. So this just says, City Office of the Mayor, Fairhope, Alabama proclamation. Whereas Dr. Richard A. Rowe has been a fixture in the Fairhope community and at Thomas Hospital for the last 45 and a half years, and served in the field of obstetrics and gynecology for a total of 48 years. And whereas Richard attended Auburn University, War Eagle, and then went on to attend medical school at the University of Tennessee in Memphis. While there was a young medical student, he delivered his first baby. He was completely enthralled with the amazing miracle he witnessed and knew that it was the kind of doctor he wanted to be. Once he completed medical school, he went on to become a proud veteran and served 4 years active duty in the U.S. Air Force, serving as a physician, achieving the rank of major in the medical corps. And whereas Dr. Rowe has delivered an estimated over 10,000 babies during his career and served women of all ages, race, and socioeconomic groups. Whereas at Thomas Hospital, Dr. Rowe served as the first chairman of the Department of Surgery medical staff, past president of the medical staff, and past chair of the obstetrics department, and a member of the Thomas Hospital Board of Directors for 28 years. Whereas Dr. Rowe when Dr. Rowe is not serving his patients or attending medical meetings, he is actively involved in St. Lawrence Catholic Parish and the Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of Mobile. Reading and cheering on the team of his sports alma mater is one of his favorite things to do. Whereas Dr. Rowe has served not only thousands of patients over the last 48 years, but also veterans, colleagues, friends, family, church, and the Fairhope community. For this, he is to be commended and honored. So I, Sherry Sullivan, Mayor of Fairhope, do hereby proclaim today, January 9th, as Richard Rowe Day in the city of Fairhope. Congratulations.
I'm not going to keep y'all. We got a ball game coming on, I know, but I really appreciate it. It was a wise decision all those years ago to come to Fairhope. It's been a great career. I've enjoyed it. I love Fairhope. I love the people of the hospital, and I'm looking forward to retirement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Also, Dr. McBrady's here with us. Dr. McBrady, thank you for what you do also for our community. And with that, I'm going to go to the lobby for a picture, and I'll let y'all carry on with the meeting.
Thank you. Thank you.
Doc, why don't you wait till tonight to make it, your day instead of in the morning where you can walk around and go, hey, it's my day. Yeah.
Congratulations.
All right, guys. So next on the agenda is public participation for agenda items. So if you've got comments on agenda items number 5 through 14, now is your opportunity. And if you don't, there is another opportunity at the end of the agenda for comments on non-agenda items. All right, seeing no one, I will go into the next item, which is council comments. Councilman Burrell.
Well, I have several comments to make, but I'll try to be quick about it. Just going into the new year, I didn't bring these up at the end of the past calendar year, but going into the new year, just some things that I see I'd like for this council to address. And, there's thousands of things that we address on the council, but some things that I believe impact the quality of life for our citizens. And so I would like for us to find ways to address these. Unfortunately, for the people that have to enforce the law and have to enforce our rules and regulations, it places a burden on them, but I would like to be able to give you tools to do your job well and do it more efficiently. So what I would like to continue to look at speeding. I think we have some safety issues in the city, and there's a lot of speeding going on. When you talk about pedestrian safety, I think that we need to continue to make it safer for the pedestrians, having almost been run over 4 times in the last couple of weeks myself. I think we need to do something about it. Littering, and I think we need to look at our ordinances and increase the fines. If you're throwing out garbage, Mobile Bay NEP spoke in the work session about the amount of trash that's making its way to the bay, and it's because people are throwing things out on the street, and they're going through our storm drains and whatnot. But I think that I don't feel like our police should be out there writing fines if it's just going to be a slap on the wrist. We need to get serious about it. It's severely impacting the appearance of our city, and I'm serious about this. And And then I think that we need to crack down on our short-term rentals. You know, we have laws against these being put in certain zones in the city, and I think that we've got a problem with having these that are unregulated and untaxed. And I have no problem with people having licensed short-term rental businesses, but I think that we've got a lot of people that we hadn't caught that are breaking the law. So that's some things that I think we need to address in 2023.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Councilman Martin.
I don't have anything,
All right.
except I think TCU is going to beat Georgia tonight.
Councilman Conyers.
I just want to say what a tremendous career for Dr. Rowe. It was so great to see so many of his family here celebrating that tonight. But 45 years and 10,000 babies, that's pretty impressive. So all future complaints about population growth in Fairhope will be redirected to Dr. Rowe.
Councilman Boone.
Go Dogs.
All right, and I don't
Go
have any,
Dogs.
I don't have any comments, so we'll go straight into item number 5, which is final adoption. Request of Live Oaks Properties LLC to rezone property from planned unit development to R1 low-density single-family. The property is approximately 3.79 acres and is located on the east side of Main Street, south of Parker Road. And this was introduced last council meeting.
Thank you. This was almost a downzoning as far as density goes. This was a PUD that allowed 8 acres, or 8 units at the corner of Parker and Main Street. As shown on the screen, it is currently a PUD with a site plan is approved on the screen. This is a request to rezone that acreage straight to R1. There is not an approved plan within that. The setbacks for R1 are on the screen. Here's the location. We did discuss sidewalks. I think that would be required during the subdivision, however this lays out. This did go through the Planning Commission and staff with unanimous recommendation for approval. If there's any questions, I'm here to answer them.
Council, any questions for Hunter at this point?
I just want to say, as I said at the last meeting when it was introduced, that I know that the local residents don't have any objection, that typically you're not, if you go from a PUD to R1,
Right.
not a lot to argue about there. I know the people that back up to that area are more satisfied with this zoning than the PUD.
All right, council, if there are no questions or comments for Hunter, I will entertain a motion for final adoption.
So moved.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. Do we need to call the question here, or do we? Yeah.
Place 1,
All right.
place 2,
Aye.
place 3,
Aye.
council president, place 4,
Aye.
place 5.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Item number 6 is final adoption. It's a request to establish initial zoning of June Nelson Long's property to B2 General Business District concurrent with conditional annexation into the city of Fairhope. The property is approximately 1.7 acres and is located on the northeast corner of Greeno Road and Old Battles Road. It was introduced at the December 21st council meeting.
Thank you. And Stephen Roberts is here for acting on behalf of the applicant if there's any questions. The property is, the aerial is shown on the right zoning map here. I do have an updated slide for Councilman Burrell at the end of this, but this is a straight rezoning request. This followed up with a couple of other zoning cases and with annexations that you've previously heard. This is straight across from the public site on Battles Road. As you can see on this screen, which makes it adjacent to the city limits. B2 is its own zoning district that has a list of uses by right or with approval of the Board of Adjustment. And here's the bigger shot of the current zoning. Anything that's that pink color is within the city limits. If you can see the yellow underneath at the bottom, that is still unzoned properties. All of this light blue is a community preservation, and then you can see some of the other districts, how they line up. in
Wait.
that area.
Do you guys see,
Light blue.
you guys
I don't
see light blue?
Nope.
There's no,
See
Light-
brown.
Okay.
Light brown.
Light
I'm
brown.
just making sure I'm not
Okay,
having.
yes, yes.
Stroke.
You're having a stroke on, it is light brown.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes. So if there's any questions, I don't know a lot of the specifics of many of the counties, but I know some generalities. So if there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer those.
And this, again, is something that's very close to the recently annexed and rezoned public property.
Yes. The public property is this dark purple, and the property in question is this
That
one
corner
lot
right
on the
across.
corner.
Okay. Okay. Council, any questions for Hunter?
Make a motion, we approve.
All right, we got a motion for final adoption. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All right, clerk, will you call the question, please?
Place 1,
Aye.
place 2,
aye.
place 3,
Aye.
Council President, place 4,
Aye.
place 5.
Aye.
All right. Motion is adopted. Moving on.
Thank you.
Item number 7 is a resolution that the City of Fairhope approves Amendment Number 1 to the contract agreement with Kimley Horn and Associates, Inc. for professional consulting services for new water transmission line on County Road 33 for a not-to-exceed amount of $80,000, increasing the original contract total to $488,000, and hereby authorizes Mayor Sherry Sullivan to execute a contract. Guys, this is the amendment we discussed in the work session.
So moved.
I've got a motion
Second.
and a second. Any further comments or questions, council? All right, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Item number 8 is a resolution that Mayor Sherry Sullivan is hereby authorized to execute change order number 1 for project number STPOA-022, turn lane construction and traffic signal upgrades on County Road 30 at SR 42 for a project cost increase not to exceed $45,555.72 to McElhaney Construction Company LLC. The new contract total will be $595,293.09. But this is the total project cost, but that does not, or does it reflect what our actual out-of-pocket cost is? 20% of what this number is. Okay, thank you. All right, council, we heard from Richard in the work session.
Make a motion to approve.
I've got a motion
Second.
and a second. Any further discussion?
I have one more question. Richard, how many linear feet are they going to be taking up and putting down for this additional cost?
It's a couple hundred feet. It goes from Jubilee Lane on the east side back to almost the entrance to the doctor's clinic there on the west side. So I'm not sure what the total length is from extent to extent of project.
And that's going east then? Okay. How much did it cost us to repair that road going down to Bayou when it washed out?
That was 235,000.
Was it that much? Okay. No more questions, thank you.
All right. All right, council, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of item number 8, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Item number 9 is a resolution to award bid number 23012 -2023 PW1-008 to McElhaney Construction Company LLC for roadway and parking improvements project at Valana Sports Park with a total bid proposal not to exceed $457,459.71. Council, we discussed this in the work session. Obviously, what Richard went through, it is a very broad scope of what they are going to do out there. And helps with a lot of improvements, not only for the existing structures, but the new facility that's being built on the front side on 98. And so, does anybody have any additional questions for Richard or Pat at this point?
I'm sorry to delay the meeting, but yeah, I do.
Yeah.
So it's over budget by $132,000, roughly $500. Is it over budget because we went with some option and we increased the scope of work, or is it over budget because the bid came back 132,000 over budget?
It's because I under budgeted. I didn't put enough in there for the scope of work. I went by some numbers that, I didn't consult with Richard first, so it was my mistake.
I guess the simple question, though, is the scope of work hasn't increased.
No.
I mean, what we,
Not from our original intent.
right, right, okay. Okay. Council, any other questions or, for Richard or for Pat? All right, hearing none, I will entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
I've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Item number 10 is a resolution to award bid to Blade Construction LLC for drainage between Morphe and Belange Avenues Improvement Project with a total bid proposal not to exceed $199,065. Council, again, we discussed this in the work session and,
Make a motion, we approve the resolution.
okay, I've got a motion
Second.
and a second. Any further discussion? Any questions for Richard? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Item number 11 is a resolution that the city of Fairhope approves the selection for a flood study of the area near Fairfax and Cowpen Creek watershed, and hereby authorizes Mayor Sherry Sullivan to execute a contract with Hydro Engineering Solutions with a not-to-exceed amount of $27,500.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Item number 12 is a resolution that the city of Fairhope has voted to approve annual inspections and testing of fire trucks to Sunbelt Fire, Inc. as sole source distributor and authorizes procurement based on the option allowed by the Code of Alabama 1975, Section 41165113. The total amount will not to exceed $15,135.
So moved.
Second.
I've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Item number 13 is a resolution that the city of Fairhope approves the procurement of Bullhorn RM 4251 DC remote monitoring cathodic protection service fees and installation materials for the gas department with American Innovations as sole source and authorizes procurement based on the option allowed by the Code of Alabama. The total amount will not exceed $5,000.
So moved.
Second.
I've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Item number 14 is a resolution authorizing Mayor Sherry Sullivan to execute a contract between the City of Fairhope and the Baldwin County Martin Luther King Jr. Celebration Committee, Inc. for use of the city facilities, rental and cleaning fees on Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, January 16th, 2023, including streets and parks. But they would be responsible for any incidentals or damages if necessary.
So moved.
Okay?
Second.
I've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. All right, motion carries. All right, next item is public participation for any other items. Please come forward, state your name. You will have 3 minutes.
Slow, don't count my 3 minutes.
You don't start, your time doesn't start until you start talking.
Okay. My name is Kitty Crumpton. I meant for those to go up to the, up there. Okay. Would you? My name is Kitty Crumpton, and I live at 104 Laurel Avenue. The documents that I'm giving you sort of, yeah, you'll have to share with Mr. Burrell. I'm
No
sorry.
worries. It's okay.
The first little dark sheet is from a publication that was put out by the city of, the Courier for the city of Fairhope. in July of 1975. The little circle part down at the bottom is my point of contention. There was an easement to the back of a property next to me, and it abutted my house. The next piece of document shows the same thing, but the lane is much more visible. It was an easement to the house built by Mr. and Ms. Levi. It did not reach Laurel Avenue. Their front yard was owned by the Duttons, which I bought their property. So sometime in that period of time, a front yard was transferred to the Levi property, and their property did reach Laurel Avenue. My survey is the next one. When I bought my house in '73, is the first. This is a Claude Arnold document. It shows Laurel Avenue, the house next door owned by the Levis, and there was a public lane clearly documented on that survey, which went to Mobile Street. The Levis were required to use that access to their house. The access has now been I guess it was not ever paved, and maybe it was not ever dedicated. And my living there, it was not used, but it abutted my property. And now on the new survey that I have recently gotten is the last sheet. The lane is not there, and it is now owned by Gay and Sarah Lindsay. They bought the house on Mobile Street. It was a brick house just past Barron's Motel. The property that was the access has been awarded to Mr. Lindsay and Mr. Vera. As you see from that survey, there is a large point, which I think was part of the access. It does not show on Mr. Arnold's survey. It does not look like that at all on Mr. Arnold's survey. And I object. I was never given any notice about the redistribution of the access, although it does abut my property, and I think the rule is that I should have been told. Oh, wow.
No, go,
That's all I have to say.
sure.
Do you have any questions? Do I have a question time? Would you like this?
What is she asking from us?
Yeah, Ms. Crumpton, what exactly are you asking the council to do
Well, I don't
with
want
this?
that jog into my lot 2 there. This is an old grandfathered-in lot. I would like to sell it. But I do not think it's fair for that, because it did not show on Claude's survey. It's a curved line, but it's not, there's no jog into lot 2 on Claude's survey.
So that jog makes almost a triangular piece there?
Yes, and it cuts the width, the lot is a grandfather-in lot, and it's only 60 feet wide. So that jot in cuts about 5 feet off of the lot, which I sort of feel is unfair to the people that I would like to sell this lot to. You have something to say, Mr. over there in the blue coat?
I will come and answer, tell you what I know, but he did ask a specific question, and if I may.
Yes, please.
Sure. And I think you've been speaking with Michelle?
Yes, I
In
have.
my department.
Oh,
So,
all right.
And I can address only what we know at this moment. Is there was, other than that survey from Mr. Arnold in the 70s? Was that when that was
Yes,
done?
73.
There's no record of that being a public lane or right-of-way, and sometimes the wording can be, if it was an access easement on that private property, then the city would have never vacated or had a vacation, but we found no vacation of that to
No.
date.
Yeah.
So, and that's the only really historic document we can find that has any reference of a public lane, but it could be that that was part of that property and just an access easement.
Mr. Denson, I believe.
Denson,
owned
I
it,
believe. Yes, ma'am.
And they sold the property to the Levi's, and that was the only access the Levi's had.
And
It was never paved, and it probably was not dedicated. But my contention is that it was, and all that time, it was not claimed by anybody. And now the people now who have laid claim to it, why would they want to get it access to my property?
well, if it was always just an easement instead of a right-of-way, it was always part of their property.
All right, but then it didn't jut into my property on,
And that's what I don't, your newest survey, who did that one for you?
it was, Mr. Moore.
ACK, or was that back in?
Well, no, it was a recent survey, but I think he probably used ACT stuff.
Mr.
So I think this
Ms.
is something
Crumpton,
we
yeah.
can help
Yeah.
outside of the meeting.
All right.
Yeah,
clarify.
that, Ms.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
thank you so much for coming. And this is something that I don't know that the city council can take action on, but it may be something that staff can help you sort
I
through.
was told that you probably wouldn't, but I like to make a loud noise.
Well, let's make sure you say wouldn't, the word is couldn't, okay? That wouldn't means we don't want to, couldn't means that we're not allowed. Yeah, there you go.
Hunter, the surveys have a couple of different definitions. You know, there's a concrete monument on one, and I think that may be the concrete block found, and then you go two markers, you have an iron pipe with a cap found, that's a rebar and cap. But then if you go back to the one between them, there's an open top pipe, and then there's iron pipe found. Is it possible that open top pipe was moved to the east?
Lots of possibilities, and what I think I got involved at 4:48 today, and that's all I have access to, so that's a snapshot, as you can tell, of portion of a survey. So I'd like to take a
The
look.
survey markers aren't in the same spot.
Right.
The first.
And is it,
From what I
The
can see.
first piece of paper was printed, it was the City of Fairhope zoning regulations, ordinances from 1975. I took it out of the whole little pamphlet out of the newspaper. And it is shown on that one.
yes, ma'am. And what I can tell you on that one, of any document we have, speaking of right-of-ways, that's probably gonna be one of the least accurate during that time, because we were contracting out zoning maps, and they were just grabbing a base map. In no way, shape, or form did that ever try to convey what property lines were. It was more about the zoning. You know, here's the areas of where zoning has been in place. And in no way, shape, or form is that to replicate a plat or a survey or anything along those guidelines.
And I can draw a straight line between those 3 points, and then one point in the middle looks like it's been moved.
Yeah, and that's, I need to, and I know Michelle's been digging in on this we've mapped every one of that we could find, including going back to the revisions of the plats in this area. We put them in GIS and. Yes. And I think, you know, her guidance was it really needs, we need to see, and I don't think she had the newest survey. So maybe we can take a look at that and see if there's some points of clarification.
So, Council President, I just asked you just asked Hunter to work with the mayor, and
Absolutely.
this doesn't require a council action to
That's-
try to come to a resolution on that.
Absolutely.
The only way I could see it coming back to you is if there was a vacation or something, and we
Right.
need to clear that up. But I don't think this was ever a right-of-way.
Well, and Hunter, finding out at 4:48 is not an excuse. You've had almost 2 hours to unravel this.
Been scrambling, so.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right, any other public participation? Seeing none, I will close public participation and entertain a motion for adjournment. I've got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say nay. Meeting's adjourned.